dog, at dinner, at church, on email listservs, and through word of mouth. This openness is one of our greatest strengths in Annapolis. Being open allows everyday Marylanders, our neighbors, our nurses, our network administrators, to bring their own experience to tell us how the policies we consider would affect their lives and their livelihoods. And when legislators, advocates, and members of the press identified some important improvements to how we do business here in the General Assembly, Speaker Bush and President Miller took that seriously. They've already announced changes. We applaud their decision to post committee votes online. If our constituents know how we vote in every instance, they can hold us accountable after we've had our say. Putting our committee votes online is one important victory that this legislation has already accomplished. But it's not enough for our constituents to just know how we voted after we voted. If we are to be a true citizen legislature, we need to take the next step to ensure that our state government is not an onerous and difficult process. The Maryland Open Government Act is the next step, and I'm happy to say it's a bipartisan approach that's supported by a majority of both chambers in the Maryland General Assembly. This legislation will empower our neighbors to take a proactive role in our decision making. We already allow anyone to testify. Why not allow them to sign up online and post the agenda a day in advance so that we can benefit from the testimony of those who can't afford to spend an entire day in Annapolis, but whose perspective is still very valuable and we should hear it. We already have an open meetings law. Why not allow anyone, anywhere in the state, to see what's happening in our committees in real time with webcasted committee hearings? We already offer daily legislative updates. Why not take down the paywall that keeps all but a few hundred people in the state from accessing and seeing what's happening here in real time? It's also not enough for the Maryland General Assembly to become more open while the Board of Public Works remains a mystery. They've had to slash spending by nearly $1 billion this year. They've taken steps to close the Upper Shore Community Mental Health Center, and they've eliminated 533 state jobs. The same openness standards maintained in the Appropriations Committee should be upheld by the board as they manage the budget we approve. They should post proposed budget actions at least 2 weeks in advance and allow for a period of public comment, and they too should have their meetings webcasted and archived online. These changes are not a revolution, but an evolution. By embracing 21st century technology, we can reaffirm our commitment to the values that have sustained us since Maryland was founded in the 17th century. By bringing more Marylanders into the process, we can leverage our state's greatest resources, our Marylanders and their expertise. And now I would like to introduce Senator Nancy King, who is one of the lead Senate sponsors of the Maryland Open Government Act.
Can we get your name before you leave, please?
Sorry, my name is Delegate Heather Mizeur, M-I-Z-E-U-R.
Good morning, I'm Senator Nancy King from District 39 in Montgomery County. I do have one of my delegates here with me this morning, who's a real resident.
Right.
And we have several other senators and delegates with us, and we're in good company. First, I'd like to thank our Senate President, Mike Miller. Back in December, I sent him a letter and talk to him about the fact that though the Senate already started putting our votes and committee votes up online last year, it was in a place that was very, very hard for anybody to find online. So I sent him a letter in December and asked him to start the process of more openness and an easier way for the public to be able to find these votes online. And he was very open to the whole issue, and still is. He's been great about opening up things and letting people see what the votes are. He's kind of put the wheels in motion. We had a rules change this morning on the Senate floor and voted, and it's kind of it's a step forward. I think this bill still needs to go forward because there's a lot more in it than what we voted on this morning. But we voted this morning to once the committees have voted, that they have to be online within 10 days of the vote. I'm thinking that it's going to be easier than we think, and I think 10 days is a long time, but we've taken giant steps so far, so I think that's a good thing. This bill ensures that we continue the progress of open legislative process And requiring the Board of Public Works to improve their access, I think, is really a huge step. I think people need to see that. And I think one of the things too, being able to see our votes before the vote comes to third reader on the Senate floor would be very helpful to the public. I think they need to see how people are voting and be able to have access to us as the people who are going to vote before we take those final votes on the Senate floor. And I think that'll make a huge difference. The people of Maryland have asked for transparency, and I've had people ask me, why now? Why are we doing this now? And it's, you know as well as I do that nothing happens really fast in Annapolis. This is an idea that's been out there. Technology has improved. We've found much easier ways to be able to do this. We've found ways where it's not going to cost a lot of money to do it. And so that's why now is the time. I think we're just moving in the right direction. So thank all of you for being here with us. We have 31 members of the Senate that are on this bill, and I don't remember how many on the House.
76 in the House.
76 in the House. So I think we're in good shape, and we've got some great support for this bill. So thank you.
Have you actually put the bills in already?
We'll get to questions in a moment.